want to talk to the black folks who voted for Donald Trump, and they were mad because Kamala Harris said she wouldn't do reparations, or Joe Biden said, this is your president. Reparations for January 6th riders.
Scott, about the possibility of reparations for people involved with January 6th. Listen.
Is there any talk of, because they lost opportunity, they lost income, any kind of compensation fund?
Well, there's talk about that. We have a lot of people talk about it. A lot of the people that are in government now talk about it because a lot of the people in government really like that group of people. They were patriots as far as I was concerned. I talk about them a lot. They were treated very unfairly.
Van, there's a lot of talk about that.
I feel excited about what's to come. There's a lot of economic opportunity, a lot of business opportunities, and I think a lot of younger people are also seeing that the same way.
I'm also a millennial, and I don't feel as excited as you, but...
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this panel. This was incredible. This is the closest I think we can get for MAGA pundits to call what Trump is doing racist. Really incredible. My jaw was dropped when I saw this. Check this out.
All right, confidence like Riz. You either have it or you don't. And Americans right now, they don't seem to have it about the economy. Consumer confidence slipped again this month to its lowest level since January 2021. That was in the middle of a COVID pandemic winter. The short-term outlook for businesses is at a 12-year nadir. The president, though, says that he's kind of looking at everything through rose-colored glasses. Listen to what he said about after the February jobs report.
We're going to talk about how good some of these numbers are, be way ahead of schedule. These are private sector manufacturing jobs. So we gained all of those jobs, 10,000 jobs, and we barely started yet. These numbers really reflect a lot of things that took place since November 5th.
So the new consumer confidence numbers came out today. They were down. The Michigan numbers that were out a few weeks ago, they were also down. What message are consumers sending?
Well, it's the opposite of Riz. Okay, the consumer confidence is skibbity toilet, to quote my 10-year-old, and that's the whole ball game.
Straight to jail for you. Straight to jail.
Consumer confidence is the whole ball game. I would venture to say it's why Democrats lost, because Democrats were telling voters the economy is great, strong as hell, in fact, and consumers and voters knew differently. They did not believe it. They didn't feel it. So consumer confidence is, I think, an incredibly important metric of how the health of an administration, the health of the party, and how much leeway voters are willing to give Trump as he soldiers on through these dumb tariff wars.
Well, that's just the point. He's executing on a brand new political agenda and a brand new economic agenda that is a total turnaround from the previous administration, meaning spending less government money and having less sort of artificial spending in the economy, and really investing more in private sector employment. It takes some time. There is a lot of evidence out there that manufacturing is coming back. There is investment coming back to the United States. But the effects of that will not happen overnight. But transitioning the economy from one that is based on what the government can do for you versus what you can do for yourself in the private economy is going to be a transition. I would just point out right now, the right track, wrong track number in all the polling is better than it has been in years. So despite the consumer confidence numbers, people, there is evidence that the American people think maybe we are onto something here, and I'll feel better about the economy when it feels like my life isn't quite so expensive.
Give him some time. They're not going to give him forever, though. And the effects of the tariffs might be felt before the effects of some of this investment you're talking about.
And I think it's hard to be confident when there feels like there's a lot of chaos. In other words, there are two ways to get to the change. I don't agree with your characterization, but I do agree that there's change here. But you can be a steady hand with the change, or you can be up and down all over the place. Now there's a tariff, and now there's not. And I just think the everyday person just looks and says, it just looks unstable to me. And I think that's where the lack of confidence comes from. I agree with you. Some of these right track, wrong track numbers are encouraging because people just think, well, somebody's trying to do something. And that's good. But I think that this administration could have their cake and eat it too if they weren't so erratic.
Let me just throw one quote out there from...
I think he's going to cause a recession. He's too much of an egotistical fool with these tariffs. You already saw these car dealerships going nuts, having to increase the price by $10,000, $5,000 here. People already can't afford these cars. They've already got expensive as hell ever since COVID. People can't afford groceries. Like, I don't think these people understand. Half the people in this country don't have any money in the stock market, whether through a 401k or anything. They literally rely on their job. And we all know with recessions come an incredibly high unemployment rate. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Stephen Moore, former Trump economic advisor, who's been concerned about the way this administration has been talking about tariffs. What Stephen Moore says about these consumer confidence numbers, he says, the reason I'm concerned is that perception can become reality. If consumers feel bad, it can become a reality. People stop spending. That's going to affect the real economy. That's the worry. My policy advice for Republicans, stop talking about tariffs.
Yep.
And get the tax cuts done quickly.
Look, I think that's good advice. I was just reading a McKinsey report today, and when you look at the variations between age groups, what you find, according to that analysis, older individuals are more concerned, they're saving more money. But when they asked millennials said that they were looking forward to spending more money this year compared to last year. They're confident about their economic outlook and the future overall, which may hint towards why the president increased his numbers with younger voters writ large. So I think it depends. I think you definitely got to figure out tariffs. You can't turn them on, turn them off. But from a different perspective, being a younger person, a millennial myself, I feel excited about what's to come. There's a lot of economic opportunity, a lot of business opportunities, and I think a lot of younger people are also seeing that the same way.
I'm also a millennial, and I don't feel as excited as you, but...
you weren't in that McKinsey report? By the way, I spent all my days reading McKinsey.
Right. I think, though, I guess I wonder, you know, rewind the clock back 6 months, we were talking about the voter that would go to the grocery store and try and buy eggs and, you know, have to work a couple of jobs. I think their life is still the same today, right? And the question is, will they get to quit one of their jobs because their pay goes up based on these policies? I don't think they will, actually, because you guys don't want to raise the minimum wage. Prove me wrong. Well, let me finish. Are prices going down? Are people buying more homes? You know, the instability. We read a lot of polls. We read a lot of polls. I just think that if you actually go to talk to people in middle America, those working class folks, their lives haven't improved yet, and they're waiting to see if they will. And the leash is not that long here.
Can we? There's one bit of information.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Shermichael's talking about. Shermichael, you're a black dude. There's an all-out assault, relentless assault on people of color in the workplace. This administration is going after companies, private companies, for their so-called DEI practices, which, by the way, the stupidness of that is that DEI, the data shows, has benefited white women more than anyone. But these people hate women too. So I guess they're fine with that. Like, what damn opportunities are you talking about? Companies are scared shitless. That's why you see the stock market dropping. And when companies are scared like that, just like consumers, they don't hire people. They don't expand. They hold off on projects.
I just got it. I guess it's vaguely on the subject of government spending or giving money to people, including, in this case, January 6th rioters. I guess Donald Trump just did an interview, the president just did an interview on Newmax where he was asked about the possibility of reparations for people involved with January 6th. Listen.
Is there any talk of, because they lost opportunity, they lost income, any kind of compensation fund?
Well, there's talk about that. We have a lot of people talk about it. A lot of the people that are in government now talk about it because a lot of the people in government really like that group of people. They were patriots as far as I was concerned. I talk about them a lot. They were treated very unfairly.
Man, there's a lot.
I mean, if this isn't clear as day as to who the Republicans are, then I don't know. I'm going to let this play and then I'll have my whole spiel for you. This is incredible. Guys, white nationalist group, Proud Little Boys, were amongst those rioters. Were amongst those people that Trump already gave a pardon to, that tried to overthrow the government. White nationalists. They need reparations? Are you effing kidding me?
We'll talk about that.
Patriots.
My head is about to fly off my shoulders and flip around the room and blow up on the set because you're talking about people who beat up cops. My father was a cop in the military. My favorite uncle, Milton, just retired from Memphis City Police Force. I'm a law enforcement kid. I can put up with a lot of stuff. Beating up cops is not one of them, period. And so you're now saying that these are patriots who deserve reparations. The cops that got beat up might deserve reparations. The lawmakers who got scared half to death might deserve reparations. I don't know, African Americans have been mistreated for 40 years might at least get a study on reparations. But this is an insult to anybody who believes in law and order in this country.
I want to talk to the black folks who voted for Donald Trump and they were mad because Kamala Harris said she wouldn't do reparations, or Joe Biden said, this is your president. Reparations for January 6th riders.
Scott, you've been really clear on your disavowal of what happened on January 6th. I want to hear what you have to say about what Trump just said.
Yeah, I'm not interested in reparations for this. I mean, I think there are procedures in place if someone feels like they were improperly dealt with in the criminal justice system. You can sue, you know, and go through the civil system. But I don't think this is a policy that should be pursued. I mean, look, the truth is, a lot of these people, and some committed violent acts and some didn't, but they all got pardoned. So they all already got something very valuable.
Right.
Freedom.
Guys, even Scott Jennings couldn't defend the clear racial. I mean, it's just racism behind it. If you can see that white nationalist for January 6th deserves reparations, how could you not see 400 years of slavery, segregation, Jim Crow? Are you kidding me? Not seeing that black people deserve reparations, or Native Americans? Like, this is insane to me. Not even Scott Jennings, the guy who essentially defended Trump talking about eating cats and dogs. He would not say, he was asked directly, is it racist? He paused for like half a minute, guys. He would not answer it. He couldn't defend this.
I don't know who's really asking for this. I don't think.
I think it was Greg Kelly.
I don't think. I don't think Republicans, John, on Capitol Hill want to focus on this. I mean, Ashley raised some good points about the cost of living. You raised good points about access to affordable housing. What goods have gone down, what goods have not gone down. We have a housing shortage. That is something I think the administration could really, really focus on, particularly for younger people. We can focus a little bit more on working with businesses, manufacturers to figure out how do you lower costs writ large. Maybe you incentivize them through some type of tax mechanisms. These are the things we should be focused on, John. I'm not necessarily certain that this is it.
I'm not sure any of those words were in the answer that the President of the United States gave Greg Kelly right
Well,
there.
I just gave him a silver
it was a very
platter.
Trumpian answer, I should say. He said, well, there's talk about it. There's talk about it. A lot of people in the government
I didn't hear a
now.
commitment to it.
No.
I mean, he got asked a question, and his MO is to sometimes indulge the question, muse a little bit about it. I didn't hear anything definitive there, and my hope would be that
But there's a much different way to answer that question, which would be
No. No.
All right, thank you all for that. Next.
Guys, I would love to ask Scott Jennings, why do you think he indulges with that? Why do you think that he believes that this works as a publicity stunt or some type of thing to get his side excited, or that he panders to them in this way? Why do you think that he's literally essentially using racism to pander? In this case, I mean, we've seen him use racism in 1,000 cases to pander to his racist voters. Like, why do you think he does that, Scott? And Michael, for you to say, oh, this is what he always does, guys. If you pay attention to how Michael argues and rebutes things, he always says, oh, no one's talking about that. Oh, there's no Republicans talking about that. When they brought up the Derek Chauvin pardoning thing, when they were asked about him, do you agree with that? The president is not talking about that. The president doesn't want to do this. Now, this time, the president was interviewed about giving white nationalists reparations. And he says, well, no one in Congress, Republicans in Congress are not talking about it. This is what he does. This is the president of the United States. This is the top of the party. Are you effing kidding me? Always tries to shrug it off. Oh, it's nothing. I mean, again, if this isn't as clear as day as who the Republicans are, then I just don't know what is. I mean, guys, think about the things that they've already done in what, a couple months, 2 or 3 months? Running around, removing pictures of people of color from the White House. Removing pictures of Jackie Robinson. How about the plane crash and Trump running to the media to blame it on DEI? before he knew anything about it. How about, again, Ben Shapiro, Elon Musk agreeing that they should pardon the George Floyd murderer, Derek Chauvin? What do you think this is all about? What do you think they're doing this? The treatment of immigrants, making propaganda, essentially marketing videos, showing them shaving their head, dehumanizing them, humiliating them, bow down with their head shaved off. I mean, and why not add a cherry on top to the racist Sunday? Give the proud little boys, white nationalist, reparations. I mean, like, this is unbelievable to me. And some people will say, and actually, guys, let me know if I should make a video on this. The Hodge twins, they're a pretty big YouTube channel. These two black dudes, Republicans. And they essentially were saying in one of my videos that I'm generalizing all Republicans as racist. In that video, I said that there's no absolutes. I don't believe all Republicans are racist. But this is starting to make me believe otherwise. If you follow politics even a modicum, even a tiny bit, this racist crap is every single day, even when it has nothing to do with it, with the topics at hand. It's like, hey, Republicans, I haven't forgot about you. Here's some racist stuff. Here's some racist meat to show you that I'm still racist right with you. Do Republicans ever stop to think as to why this is done? Why Trump even answers a question like that? Why does something like talking about giving reparations to a white nationalist group is effective at getting your side what? Excited? Galvanized? Paying attention? This is the stuff? Unbelievable, guys. I would love to know what you think about all this. Guys, this topic was on the economy and how shitty Trump is. Reparations for white nationalists. Incredible. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm really excited to read the comments on this one. Please subscribe if you're not. It will really help the channel. And I'll catch you in the next one.